Good Thursday afternoon and welcome everybody to another edition of the Sports Visions radio show. We are taping the television show on CTV Beam for all of you folks out there to see how we get down in the studio. I'm DJ Jones alongside my good friend and traveling partner Dale Williams. How are you, sir?
What's up, player?
Hey man, I'm feeling pretty good. Thrift, what's the deal, Pickle?
NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball all are being played today. It cannot be a better day for sports maniacs like ourselves.
On this side of Panama City. Yes, sir. Hey, man. It's one of those weeks, man, we've been waiting for. We've been talking for weeks and months, but this is finally here. It's finally here. Football in the actually in Georgia as well as Alabama, high school football that is. Of course, we got the pro football on slate tonight. Tonight we got a huge game, man. The two biggest and brightest stars in the National Football League going at it tonight. Patrick Mahomes and Desean Watson, man. What a treat!
What a treat, DJ. And I mean, really nice. I think it's going to be a nice game, and really, I want to be able to see are these players really ready to play, DJ. I think they're going to need about 4 games before they can get ready. I
don't think it's going to take that many, but I think that the bottom line is you're definitely going to get to see these guys, do that thing. They've been waiting. You know how it is, Dale. We strapped it up.
Anxious.
When you're in your purpose, when you know what you want to do, when you love something, and when you finally get out there and go, it's not going to be for the lack of effort. I guarantee you. There might be a lot of mistakes made, but I'm guaranteeing you they're going to be going full speed.
I'm telling you, they're going to be going full speed, and really they hadn't been able to go against one another or inter-squad scrimmages or anything like that. But really, it's going to be a very competitive game, and we're going to find out real fast who's ready and who's not, who needs a little work. But when you start talking about Desean Watson and you start talking about Patrick Mahomes, those are the best 2 quarterbacks you possibly can get in the NFL right now. Very competitive game for an opening game, and I look forward to it.
And we're going to have an opportunity to talk about that and a whole lot more coming up in just a little bit. But first, let me go ahead and let you know we got an action-packed show today. We got 3 guests. We have, of course, Hardaway is going to be opening up tonight, their first game, and they're playing against the America's Sumter. They're going to be out at Connect Stadium, and that game will kick off at 7 o'clock. Matter of fact, I'm going to be leaving here, heading out there, Dale, to catch that action as well. But we're going to have an opportunity to talk to the head coach, Coach Michael Woolrich. And Coach is one of the young, bright head coaches in the Chattahoochee Valley, and we're looking forward to seeing. He has a couple of blue chip, and I know he has one blue chipper, but another one is a budding blue chipper. He has Mikael Williams. He's on everybody's All-American list. He's a 4-star right now, just a junior. Going to have an opportunity. Auburn, I heard Auburn was going to be in town tonight, probably amongst other folks, but he's been offered by Clemson. He's been offered by Georgia. He's been offered by everybody, and gonna look forward to seeing him perform. He was our Sports Visions Defensive Player of the Year on last year as a sophomore, and I was very impressed when he walked up on the stage, Dale, standing about 6'4", weighing about 265, 270 pounds. Looked real good, but gonna have an opportunity to see the Hardaway Hawks. So all you alumni out there that are watching and that are listening, make sure that you make your way out there, but you have to be careful now because, again, walk-up tickets are being sold, Dale. I think you need to let them know how they can do that.
No ticket. You got to go online. You got to go to GoFanMe page. It's gofan.co.
Yeah.
And if there's some tickets, but tickets gone, player.
Well, the tickets are gone for the Carver Spencer game, but the Hardaway game, obviously, America's is not going to sell their tickets. So there's probably a good amount of tickets because they, again, have the allotment for America's as well, since it is a home game here at Connect Stadium.
Yeah, and probably if you hadn't already gotten your tickets, I'm sure that the Hardaway people have already gotten all the America's tickets anyway. But it's going to be interesting, and really just the pattern and what you have to do now to go get your tickets. The way you got to get your tickets now, you got to be, you got to get your stuff in advance because really these tickets go real fast. And
we'll have an opportunity again to go even a little bit further into that when we get Coach on in just a little bit. We also have from WRBL Sports. He's the director over there, and he's also the anchor. His name is Rex Castillo, and he will be with us to give us the preview of this weekend's football games. Again, I know starting, we're going to talk about tonight's game as well as all the rest of the games in Georgia and Alabama. Looking forward to talking to Rex. Hadn't had a chance to talk to him this year because we've been using his sidekick again, to do review on Mondays, and we're going to go ahead and start to preview on Thursdays with Rex.
That's right. Rex, you got to put Rex in the mix anyway, but Rex and Jack do a great job of covering this whole East Alabama and West Central Georgia area, man, for as football is concerned. And Rex probably is just off the chain today for having all this sports from the NBA to Major League Baseball, the NFL, college football. He probably don't know what to do with himself today.
Well, I know he has to just be happy that he got local high school football. That's the most important thing. Also, coming up at the 5:15 hour, we're going to have Scott Williams. He is, of course, a former teammate from the University of Georgia, a great friend, and again, a behind-the-scenes guy. Works with the SEC Network, and of course, he is the director of multimedia sales. So this guy's in the mix. He's one of those money guys. He's one of those guys responsible for going out and generating that revenue for the network on behalf of ESPN Dale. So last time we talked to him, we were right in the middle of the pandemic, but now, of course, with everything getting ready to kick off, I'm sure that he will be in even better mode.
I mean, I'm sure he's going to be in a great mood today, really, because really all along, he had some hope that everything was going to get down to this point where we were going to play some SEC football, and I'm sure he's ecstatic today, too.
Absolutely. But Dale, first and foremost, before we get into the show, what in the world has gotten into those Atlanta Braves? 29 runs that they scored the other day. I know they were shut out just a few hours earlier.
Yeah.
But 29 runs, of course, one off the all-time league. Of course, it's a franchise record as far as the Braves. They were in Boston, Milwaukee, and being in Atlanta. But, 29 runs in one game.
29 runs in one game, DJ, 23 hits, 7 home runs. I mean, really, Adam Duvall just went off 9 RBIs, a 2-run homer, a 3-run homer, and a grand slam. I mean, really, the Braves, I mean, they can hit, DJ. They're going to have to probably average about 10 runs, DJ, because they have no pitching.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing that they are capable of generating that kind of offense. And hopefully, with about 20 or so more games left there, they're coming downhill fast, man.
That's right.
That 60-game sprint is almost coming to a halt.
Yeah, yes, it is, DJ. And when you look at the standings on the American League and the National League, DJ, really for as a second-place team, it's only like, 3 games back, 3.5 games back. Those are not a lot of games, DJ, because you can go to just like the Nats. The Braves played the Nats this weekend, 4 games. They mess around and lose 3 of those 4 games, DJ. They might not be in first place.
Well, it's good to see that Ozzie Albies back. Of course, he hadn't played almost been 30 games, missed 30 games or so, and he's coming back now. And man, I tell you, he's got to blow that rust off. It's almost like golly, but he's so young and talented. It's easy for him probably to get right back into it. But we knew that it took Acuna. It took him some time to get going, but they're 2 different kinds of players, I think.
They are, and being Ozzie being a switch hitter, and he came back. He hit a home run last night. So really, I think Ford just being so anxious and just being excited about playing again. These guys stay excited and they love to play baseball.
Love to see Freddie Freeman. Ken, he had an 18-game hitting streak up. Did he break the streak?
I think the 8-0 game, I don't think he got to hit that game, so I think the streak is broken.
He had
18 games. I think he went 18 games.
Yep. Good things. Good for the Atlanta Braves. Hey, now again, we're talking about opening day, the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Falcons, both obviously playing in Atlanta. Dale, this is for the first time ever. I'm sure that we're having this much confusion. People don't know if they want to go watch the Braves. They don't want to go watch the Falcons. Then you got other choices. The soccer's going on still.
Yeah,
that's the going on again. Man, it's crazy right now. The NBA playoffs. Good thing that the Hawks are not in it, so they don't have to worry about that. But still, that takes time and takes time away from your schedule, your routine, whatever you're going to do. You got to be able to chop it up and split it up.
I think really, I'm real interested in watching the Falcons game this weekend. Just seeing that restricted crowd and that how they're going to pipe in noise, or if they're not going to pipe in noise. But really, I'm just looking forward to seeing some competitive football. I mean, you got a great game, the Seattle Seahawks against the Atlanta Falcons. That's going to be a big-time game, and watch out for Russell Wilson.
Absolutely. Hey, Coach Coach Woolridge, obviously, we're trying to get him in, of course, now because he is right now, they're going through the pregame meal, and this is game day. So obviously, he's focused. He's in that mood. I talked to him yesterday. He was nice and calm, but today I'm sure that he's a little sharp. What did he say?
15 minutes.
15 minutes?
He needs 15 minutes.
He needs 15 minutes. I don't know if we're going to be able to give him 15 minutes because, obviously, this ship has to keep rolling right down the road, but we're gonna try to
put
get
him
him
in the
on.
game.
We'll try to get him in the game because
We'll
obviously
squeeze him in.
we got to stack these things up. We have an itinerary. We have
That's right.
we have to. And again, you can't be on your time. You have to be able to be on our clock.
See, people think when you're doing a radio show that you should just come in and you start talking. There is way more X's and O's than there is when you come in here setting up everything. And when we have exact times, it's for a purpose because we have breaks. We have other people that are going to call in. Not criticizing the coach. I know he has a lot going on, but I like sticking to schedule, and that's just the producer in me.
Damn, DJ, he sound like you.
Well, again, if you're gonna do this, you got to do it right. You can't just let you can't let the prisoners run the asylum. You know what I mean? You got to get it going. It has to be some order.
That's right.
And again, we probably make it sound a lot easier than it really is. Obviously, when you folks on television, you get an opportunity to see, but obviously it looks a lot easier, but it's a lot of thought process that goes into it. And again, when you're talking about booking these interviews, you got to be, you don't have to be right, boom, sludge hammer down on the concrete, but you got to have some order. Got to have some order.
Got to have some order, but really the good thing about it, man, that we have some things that we can always adjust to, and we got enough content to talk about a lot of things. So let's move it, man.
Well, let's move on and talk about all of those students, man, that we found out that tested positive for the COVID-19 at the University of Georgia, man. I know the first week it was like 1,200 or so students. This was 2 weeks ago. Last week we are understanding that there's about 1,400 to 1,600 more tests that have come out that positive. Man, I tell you, and these are just, again, I'm not just picking on the University of Georgia. We talked about Alabama, of course, when their deal came out. Auburn has their issues. Every major college that is accepting these students back on campus, they're going through it.
Oh, yeah, they're going to go through it, DJ. And like you said, when you start talking about these campuses, you're talking about over 25,000 students on these campuses. And I mean, really, they're little cities within themselves. And really, when the outbreak happens on campus, it's going to spread like wildfire. Because really, I'm going to tell you something. Little Susie and little man, they couldn't wait to get back to school. So, for that social distancing and, not, being able to, to do what they want to do at home, they definitely doing what they want to do at school. And I think really they got to get some control on these campuses.
Well, let me just say this. A couple of weeks ago, we went out to the Hoover game against Central came in town. Obviously, the fans and the kids were very excited and elated to be back, of course, into the stadium and back into their in rare form. But, when you talk about social distancing in a football, well, not just the teams, but the fans as well, man, they get excited. And most recently, I was out at the Northside and the Columbus High School game. That was Friday night last night. That's Friday night, man. And again, the student sections, these kids hadn't seen each other in months. And, it was just incredible how, again, you just can't police the social distancing part. You just hope and pray that they put the mask on. And obviously that'll help keep this spread down. But, it's going to be crazy. Carver Spencer is tomorrow. Obviously tonight, when you talk about Hardaway and Americus, I don't know how Americus is going to travel. But, again, when you talk about the way that they've dummied down the attendance, 40% of the capacity at Econet Stadium is probably, I guess they get about 12,000 in there on a full house. So, what's that about? I don't know my math. I don't have my math.
About 2,000 total.
But we are counting on, obviously, America's not traveling as America's used to because the team has not been as good as it's been in the past.
Right.
So a lot of those tickets hopefully will go to the home team and they can get the opportunity to see the kids play. This goes to the kids on the football team as well as the band, the cheer squad,
That's right.
the dancing squad, all of this. I mean, this is a
out.
great opportunity to support the Hardaway Hawks. You're an alumni of Hardaway.
That's right.
I know you're going to be out there.
I'll be there.
I'll be out there as well.
I'll be there tonight. And really it's just, just for us, the Northside and Columbus game last week, it still is a very good atmosphere and environment for high school football. Even in the midst of this pandemic, even in the midst of not having the game sold out, it really is a great environment.
I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take an opportunity to pay some bills. We got to pay some bills because obviously we are very proud to know that we got some sponsors that are dedicated to us because, again, to get a sponsor deal, you got to have some listeners.
You got to have some listeners,
and,
man.
of course, to have some listeners, you got to have an important and you got to have a very informative show.
You got to have an informative
And I think
show.
you can agree with us, and the folks listening can agree. We go there.
That's right.
We go there. All right, you're listening to WRCG 92.1, and you're watching CTV Beam. This is the Sports Visions Radio Show. Yes, indeed. Football is back. Ladies and gentlemen, we have local high school football tonight. We also have professional football tonight on the air. And again, we're talking about two of the best young quarterbacks in the game. Deal. I know I'm excited to see these guys. And both of them have been paid. You know, since the last time we were on the air, you know, Desean Watson has signed a new deal. His deal is a 4-year deal, like $160 million, which obviously is roughly about $40 million per. However, again, I think he has the best situation because he's, you know, in 4 years he can re-up. He can put himself out there. And you know, whereas when we talk about Patrick Mahomes, his situation, he has a 10-year deal that he has to stay stay on course with. But the bottom line, both of these guys are going to be very wealthy. Generational wealth is the word we use when you talk about the kind of money that these young men will be making. And
it's good that their owners they were proactive in signing these guys and really not having to wait on these guys and their contract running out. That's a good thing.
Speaking of weight, hey, we got it all.
Down, two fellas, sit down.
All right, Coach. We got Coach going on. Hey, Coach, we appreciate you, man. We only going to keep you just a little bit, quick minute, but thank you for coming on. I know you got a big game tonight, man. Give us the rundown on, obviously, the showstoppers, the box office guys that are going to be, obviously, doing their thing for you tonight.
Well, we got Mikael Williams. He's a 4-star defensive end. He's been offered by Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, Auburn, all the big boys. And he's going to be the end for us and play a little sniffer back. Then we got J.Q. Hardaway, who's a 6'3" corner, who's also going to play a little receiver for us. He's been offered by the likes of Florida, University of Southern Cal, Nebraska. So, you know, them the top guys. But our quarterback, DJ Lucas is coming back, second-year starter. And we're returning a lot of guys who played a lot of puppies last year, 10th graders. And these guys will be upperclassmen, just 11th graders. So, you know, we're just excited, man. We're excited.
Those guys out of Americas is coming to town, man. And I know that normally, traditionally, they come in, ready to play. I don't know how much you know about them. Why don't you what's the scouting report on Americas?
Well, we played them the last 2 years, and we beat them the first year on a field goal at the last second on our homecoming in Columbus. And last year we beat them in overtime. So it's going to be a dog fight. I mean, we know that the last 2 years has been a dog fight. You know, I heard they lost a lot here at 2016, but we don't underestimate opponents ever. So we're looking to get the upper hand. We got home field advantage. They got to take the drive, and we're just looking to put together a clean game, man, a clean game with a few mistakes, and just execute the game plan.
Hey, Coach Mike, let me ask you this, man. What are you just looking so forward to seeing tonight? I mean, what are you excited to see? You want to see how your team's going to react, but what are you really want to see?
Really, all I want to see, I just want to see kids. I want to see kids execute. You know, the biggest thing is, you know, this is the test. You know, you've been on the field all day at practice. You know, you're getting your notes for the game as practicing your technique, practicing your calls, and you just want to see it all put together as a coach, man. You really want to see the time and effort you put in pay off, and it pays off when you win ball games and the kids execute the game plan to perfection.
Coach, I know you probably never asked this question, but obviously you have guys up in the press box, and again, you have headphones on. Will you explain to the folks out there what exactly is going on with the communication with you and your coaches upstairs?
Well, we're just seeing, you know, defensively, we're seeing, you know, what they running, are they heavy run, heavy pass, what formations they giving us the most. Offensively, you want to see what coverages they in, what fronts they giving you. They giving you an odd or even front. And basically, you just want to get tendencies, you know, tendencies where you can make great halftime adjustments to finish the game.
Coach, I know it's about 4:20-ish, and I know that your game is at 7 o'clock, but can you give everybody out there that's listening an idea of what your itinerary is from right now until kickoff?
Well, right now the boys are eating. You know, we always, and first foremost, we get a devotional from the Lord, all right? Pastor comes in, gives us a devotional from about 4:30, 4:40. We eat from about 4:40 to 5. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. We had the devotional at 4, I'm sorry, with this COVID-19. Devotional at 4 to 4:10, and then 4:10 to 4:30 we eat. 4:30 to about 4:50 we giving out uniforms. 4:50 to about 5:05, last minute walk through. 5:05 we on the bus headed to the stadium.
You know, Coach, I know you sound excited. I know you playing tonight already. If they even at your level of enthusiasm right here, I know they'll be ready to play. But at the same time, what do you do to try to calm them down a little bit?
Well, you know, like they get a little talkative during the pregame meal, you know, on the bus. You have to let them know, hey, let's focus on business. You know, I tell them, we always celebrate after the game. We celebrate after we take care of business. You don't talk and celebrate before, all right? We got our mind on the game. We focus. We imagining what we're going to do, picture ourselves doing great things. We'll do great things. So, like I tell them, you celebrate after the game. Take care of business, then you can talk and celebrate.
Coach, I know we're in about week 3 of high school football in general in Georgia and Alabama, of course, with regards to the Chattahoochee Valley and high school football. Again, with tickets, and I know that, with the COVID-19, the coronavirus, all of the numbers have been sliced and diced. I know with regards to, you're playing a team from out of town, but have you had any problems or have you heard any uproar about tickets and not being available?
No, not with our game. I heard we pretty much to the capacity. We only get 40% capacity, and we sold just about all those. So that's a good sign, when kids are not in school and people still getting tickets and calling you all day to try to get in the stands to come watch you play. People are excited about seeing Hawk football. I'm excited, too, and we just want to put together and show and give people what they came to see and give them their money's worth.
Coach, what's the protocol? I know Americans might not be traveling. I know, again, you get 1,000 tickets a piece, I guess, and what happens if they don't sell their end? Do you guys get a chance to turn around and sell them to your fans?
Absolutely. If they don't sell their end, then, we want to maximize profit so we can sell them. But, you're still sitting on different sides of the stadium if you sell them. So those other 500 tickets are intended for one side of the stadium, whereas our 500 intended for our side. So, yes, we will try to make best do and get those sold, too.
Coach, did you dodge any bullets from this coronavirus pandemic? You got all your players that you want to be playing tonight.
Yes, sir. We got everybody. We had a few people that has said, Coach, I was around so-and-so. They had COVID. They went and got tested negative. So I'll just say the good Lord been very good to us during this pandemic. No cases, man. All praise go to God for that, man. He just really been watching over this team, keeping us safe.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Coach Michael Woolridge. Coach, we wish you the best, man. We'll be out there to see you in just a little bit.
All right. Thank you, Sports Vision. Thank you, DJ. Daryl. I appreciate y'all, man. Hopefully we get you what you want to see tonight.
Yes,
all right,
sir. All right. We're going to go ahead and take another break. You are listening to WRCG 92.1, and you're watching CTV Beam. This is the Sports Visions Radio Show.
Bus is coming in 10 minutes. Come eat breakfast.
Hey, watch the homework.
Do you know it's supposed to rain?
Where's my gray hat?
Where did you leave it?
It's your body.
What time does practice end today?
I like that headband. It really makes a statement.
Are you gonna wear this to work? Let's go. Bus is here.
Liberty Utilities natural gas. So reliable, you'll forget we're there.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
It started with a few smaller bills. $50 here,
$80,
$100.
I had good health insurance.
Why isn't this covered?
well, then they started getting bigger, $800.
$1,800.
I saved for this.
But not that much.
I'm glad I had Aflac.
They gave me money when I needed it most.
That's why Aflac is here, to help with the expenses health insurance doesn't cover.
I love that Aflac duck.
Aflac! Get to know us at aflac.com.
Headquarter Nissan has the same used cars as our competitors for much less, and with a lifetime warranty.
Their 2018 Ford Fusion, $17,700. Ours, $16,900. That's over $750 less.
Plus a lifetime warranty.
Their 2017 Altima, $15,900. Ours, $15,400.
Plus a lifetime warranty. Compare and see for yourself. Don't pay more for less, pay less for more. A lot more. Headquarter Nissan.
Be sure to tune to the Sports Visions TV show tonight, of course, at 8 o'clock on CTV Beam, Channel 7 and Channel 207. We got a high school football game tonight. We just got through talking to the head coach of the Hardaway Hawks, and his name is Coach Michael Woolridge, and he was fired up. But we have the sports director from WRBL who's even more fired up. His name is Rex Castillo. What's up, Rex?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me. And yeah, definitely fired up. I am just so happy to be able to be covering high school football. That hiatus from sports had me stir crazy in the apartment. I'm glad that my girlfriend didn't kill me about that. So I'm just happy to be covering sports again.
Well, one good thing about it, Rex, you know, in this business, the more you can do, the more valuable you are. And again, obviously, you have been able to lend other talents to the newscast, which keeps you busy. But, you know, thank God sports is back. We can actually get to playing the games. We got, you know, not only a high school game tonight, we got a NFL game, which features two of the best quarterbacks in the league. We'll talk about that later. But right now, Rex, let's go ahead and start off by talking about Hardaway and Americas tonight at 7 o'clock at Connect Stadium.
So, guys, that Hardaway team, you described him perfectly, DJ, how fired up Michael Woolridge is. That team is loaded with talent on both sides of the ball. Their defensive end, Michael, He is just a junior, but already has double-digit offers, and it seems like every other day another Power 5 school wants this kid. When I look up to him, I might go up to his shoulders, so he is a full-grown man as a junior already. I'm really excited to see what he can do, but also they have a lot of talent like J.Q. Hardaway, the wideout/defensive back there, and this team has made it to back-to-back playoff appearances. Usually for Hardaway, that was the original goal, just get to the postseason. Now these kids are like, look, we don't want to just get to the dance anymore. We want to make an impact. And Michael just told me straight up, we want to win state. We put in the work. We have the talent. We want to win state. And Coach Woolridge, I'm sure he's talked about it too, was when you have those high expectations, it's great. We can tell you how good you are. We can tell you how great you are, how good you look in the uniform and on paper. It's all about winning now. So I'm lucky enough to cover that game tonight at Kinnett Stadium. And so I'm really excited to see how far the Hardaway Hawks can go with that loaded roster.
So, Rex, before you get into the meat and potatoes of your preview here, I know the folks are wondering, how in the world could you be on the radio now? You'll be on TV in a little bit and in a game a little bit later on. Why don't you give them your itinerary as to how you move around on game day? This is Thursday, which normally Fridays is a day, but Thursday as well, today.
So with Thursday today, I come into the office right around 1 o'clock, 1 or 2 o'clock, but we get our show ready, our Friday night show, which has a lot of pieces to it. I get that ready from about 1 to 2, but also we have the Auburn University Tigers. We have to get a preview up there. We'll hear from Seth Williams on the Thursday show today. But yeah, I'm here talking with you guys because, again, you guys do such an incredible job. I love our partnership, and if I contribute in any way possible, that's great. Once I get done off the phone here, I'm going to edit that video with the wideout Seth Williams from the Auburn Tigers. Get ready, put on the monkey suit, try and look as good as DJ and Dale look on a regular basis on TV, and then do my sports report there. I've written up all those scripts. Then take off the suit, get ready to go over to Kinnett Stadium. I'll have my mask on, of course, to be safe and make sure everyone else is safe around me. Record the game there for as long as I can, probably stay till right around halftime. Come back, edit the highlights, edit the video, and then get ready to do it at 11 o'clock. It's a very, very busy schedule. I try to find time to breathe every once in a while, but when you work with a guy like Jack Patterson, we have a great team here, and I'm very blessed to be working with him. So there's a lot of coffee. The coffee machine's right next to the sports office, so that helps me out too.
Rex, you're talking about, the America's Hardaway game tonight that you will be covering. What other games this weekend kind of jump off the page that you really would like to sit and watch, high school games?
Well, we got to talk about the Heritage Bowl, right, guys? The Heritage Bowl kicking off on Friday is going to be an incredible, incredible game. For Carver, this is going to be their very first game. And that's going to be really interesting because they lost a lot of guys like Kyrie McCoy and Stretch Creedle who are on to the college level. And that's like kicking off the season with the Iron Bowl. The game means a lot. Spencer has a lot to rebuild as well. Auburn High, they're on the road this week. They're off to a 3-0 start. Usually when we talk about that region, we talk about Central. Central's also a little bit of a slow start just because, under new head coach Patrick Nix, but Auburn could be 4-0 taking on Dothan today. And then Callaway and Troup County happening on Friday. We always know that those LaGrange teams love to face off against each other, and there's a lot of talent up there. Callaway lost Tank Bigsby to Auburn, but they have another kid, Charlie Dixon. Watch out for this guy. He's just as big and just as explosive as Tank. Really excited to see what he can do. And, of course, you have Tanner Glisson's Troup County Tigers, always incredible. They have to answer who's going to be Kobe Hudson's replacement. Fell last week, but I think they can bounce back pretty well. Opelika and Eufaula. So Eufaula has been scoring like 30 points a game, right, y'all? Hess Horn, Class 6A top passer. But they only scored 10 points last week against Lee Montgomery. I want to see how well Hess Horn can bounce back. That's not going to be easy when you take on Opelika. Always known for their defense. They put up 42 against Lanier. And then finally, kind of a game that I'm really excited about that I don't know how much it's on people's radar. Columbus High versus Pacelli. The reason why, Pacelli has an incredible new field. If you haven't seen the new Dymo field, it's incredible, and those kids are playing hard. But we wanted to know who was going to replace Trey Peterson for the Columbus High Blue Devils. This kid, J.P. Powell, was airing it out against Northside. Unfortunately, Columbus High lost that game, but shout out to Northside and Coach Oropeza for getting their first win. Oh, and speaking of which, Coach Oropeza's Northside Patriots heading up to LaGrange tonight to take on the Grangers, and their new head coach, Matt Napier. Jack's going to be covering that one for us tonight. Guys, it's a full slate of high school football, and I couldn't be happier.
Well, I tell you what, you guys, we love what you do. You have an incredible show that you do on Friday nights. Of course, I'm glad that the news team, they slide right out the stage door and give you guys the studio for the most of the night. But again, I know you got to get ready to go. But again, before you go, I want you to let folks know how again, how you guys organize the crews and the camp, the photogs and whatnot. And again, a lot of behind the scenes stuff that they just take for granted because you guys make it look so doggone easy.
Well, I really appreciate that, guys. You're only as good as your team, the team you have around you, and I am very blessed to have a team. It all starts out on Monday because usually we like having a schedule throughout the entire season. Everyone has released their schedule. Not so much the case anymore because of obviously with coronavirus issues, and so we had to do our research to find out what games. And I would love to get every single game, right? I only know that it's myself, Jack, and about 3 or 4 other people who go out and get games. So on Monday and Tuesday, we sit down and we look, all right, who can go where? And if there is a way we can send someone out to cover 2 games, we would love to do that. We also have an incredible partnership with our sister company, our parent company, Nexstar. There are stations in East Alabama, Birmingham, Dothan, and we work with them as well in Montgomery. So sometimes when you see highlights, we work with our partners to get those highlights as well. For example, Auburn is going to be at Dothan High. Unfortunately, to get to Dothan and then come back in time to Columbus is not really great unless I have a personal helicopter. I'll talk to you guys about borrowing a helicopter. But it's one of those things where I have to depend on our station down in Dothan to give us stuff. We work with Birmingham as well, CBS 42. They do an incredible job. So behind-the-scenes stuff, it's a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, and a lot of planning to sitting down there with a map to make sure what can happen. And then everyone has to come back between, guys, if you could just be a fly on the wall between 9:30 and 11 o'clock or 11:10 at night on a Friday night, it is frantic, it is chaotic, but it's also really, really cool to see just all these highlights come together because I have 3 or 4 other people editing highlights and then writing for me, and then I have to put it in a different way so it makes sense to me on air. And then Jack does the same thing as well. So, again, I may have the title of sports director, but I cannot do this without this incredible team that I have here at WRBL. Jack is one of the guys that you guys know very well. Kevin Roble, our chief photographer, does an incredible job. And then we have a bunch of guys in the back who do multiple duties in the production side. So they're running graphics, they're running the studio cameras. We give them a camera in their hand, and then they go out and shoot these incredible highlights. So I am just incredibly blessed to have a good team. And both of you guys understand when you have good teammates around you and we're all heading towards one mission, you can accomplish incredible things.
Rex, incredible job, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to do obviously the Monday review with Jack, and then we'll come back and do the preview with you on Thursdays if that's okay with you.
Oh, hey guys, absolutely. I know that I'm definitely the Pippen to the Scottie Pippen to Jack Patterson's Michael Jordan. So I'm just glad that we can help out. You know what? Even though it says sports director, I understand that there's a little fine print. I'm also Jack Patterson's secretary, and I'm fine with that.
Hey, man, go ahead and get yourself busy. I know we'll catch up with you a little bit later on tonight. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you, Rex.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Take care.
All right. That's WRBL sports director Rex Castillo. Is it Castillo or Castillo? It's got an O at the end of his name, not the E.
It's Castillo.
It's Castillo.
It's Castillo, yeah.
It's Castillo. Okay. All right. I know, because he has an O at the end of it now. Remember, we know the Castillo with the E, but the O.
Oh, you're right. It's Castillo. It's Castillo.
Okay.
I stand corrected. Be quiet.
I had to go to school for that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take another break. You are listening to WRCG 92.1, and you're watching CTVB. This is the Sports Visions Radio Show.
In Japan, they have something called Kobe beef. That's how we do it at Luke's Pub. 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 Y'all come out and see us.
Should planning your travel be more stressful than staying at home? Of course not. Here at Lumpkin Travel, our VIP service makes traveling easy and fun.
Girls Trip!
We've helped serve thousands of people and families experience their dream vacation by taking the hassle out of travel.
Thank you.
We book your flight, reserve your hotel, and make sure you have a stress-free vacation so you can enjoy every moment of it.
Thank you.
We even help you choose different activities that you're guaranteed to enjoy. And the best part is, we find you the best price at no extra charge for you. At Actually, 95% of customers save money and time by booking with Lumpkin Travel. So start thinking about your dream vacation. Wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do, we'll make it happen for you. As easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today or log on and set up your vacation of a lifetime with Lumpkin Travel, your travel agent for life.
E&S Men's Clothing Warehouse has been your most trusted name in men's fashion for more than 50 years. We've offered the area's best selection of top quality, name brand suits, accessories, and casual wear at the most competitive prices around. Customer service is our top priority. We're the professionals generations have trusted for the best quality and absolutely the best deals. We are E&S Men's Clothing Warehouse. We are simply the best.
Come into Chester's Barbecue for our world-famous mouth-watering ribs, smoked fresh on our grill daily. Or try one of our barbecue pork plates with fresh sides. Chester's has delicious sandwich combos to choose from that are sure to please. We also serve tempting home-cooked favorites. And don't forget to take home your own bottle of great sauce. Chester's Barbecue, serving the best food at the best price, with 3 locations to serve you.
Hey, my name is George, and I love the Chick-Fil-A grilled nuggets. It's like me grilling at home. It tastes very similar to that, except the seasoning. I probably can't season it as well as Chick-Fil-A does. The chicken's super tender, and honestly, the best nuggets I've ever tasted.
My name is Meredith, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A's mac and cheese is the oven-toasted, cheesy top layer. If home had a flavor, it would be Chick-fil-A's mac and cheese. I'm passionate about it.
Gear up for fall at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Yes, indeed. We want to thank, of course, Coach Michael Woodridge, the head coach of the Hardaway Hawks. They're playing tonight, Dale, out at Connect Stadium against America's Sumter. And I know by the way the coach was talking and as fired up as he is, man, obviously, it trickles down to your team.
It does, DJ. And if Hardaway or these guys are emulating their coach, man, they're going to be fired up because really, he's ready to play right now, DJ.
Yes, sir. Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to go to the thrift with the NBA report, but I want to do this. I want to take an opportunity to let you know that the Sports Visions magazine is on the street. This is the football edition. This is the one you've been waiting on, ladies and gentlemen. And Dale, I tell you, we're proud of it, man. We're proud of all of our editions, but more importantly, this is always the best seller. Well, I won't say seller because we don't sell it. We give it away.
Yeah,
but this is the best. This is the best one.
This
is the most sought after one.
This is the most sought after one. Really with those schedules in there, everybody wants the schedules, from the Falcons schedules to the SEC schedules, the ACC schedule. I mean, really, they want that, and really, it's a lot of good articles in there. This probably is our best edition, DJ, when it comes down to the content of those articles in there.
Let me run down this content right here, some of the articles that you can see if you get this magazine. Matter of fact, if you want this magazine, you can email me at djjones@sportsvisionsusa.com. That's sports with an S, visions with an S, USA.com. Or you can email Dale at dalewilliams@sportsvisionsusa.com. But again, Kaepernick and Disney announced a partnership. Now, Kaepernick is he's just also with the EA Sports in this one game. He's making so much money. Nike's giving him money. Now Disney's giving him, hey, man, check this article out. D1 athletes graduate at a record high, talking about all of those great things. Good information. HBCU's ready for top recruits now. You know that they're starting to sign some of the Division I recruits. They're starting to understand that, going to a historically black college is not so bad after all with regards to having opportunity to go to the next level. Because as they always say, Dale, if you're good, the pros will find you. They'll find you. Also, football's most valuable programs, that's always a good read. And the world's most valuable sports teams, as well as the Red Devils, Central Red Devils, there's an article in there on them as well. We also have those schedules, as Dale mentioned, of the ACC, SEC, and the Atlanta Falcons on deck. And without further ado, we're going to take you to Thrift to give us an NBA playoff update.
Okay, so the Miami Heat are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Did either one of you think that was going to happen?
I did not.
No. I did not either. Jimmy Butler is becoming the poor man's Michael Jordan, and Kawhi Leonard, he has been dominant. Giannis Antetokounmpo lost in the second round. Now there's rumors saying he's going to be a free agent next year. Should they trade him right now? Should they wait it out like Cleveland and Oklahoma City did with Kevin Durant and LeBron and have no return? Or should they trade him?
Stop right there. Antetokounmpo is not like a lot of these guys from the United States.
Right.
He came from overseas, humble beginnings, so he's a little bit more loyal. He doesn't have that culture that the Americans have, so jumping ship and going to the big city, that's not in his repertoire unless his agent takes over. But, he was raised a different way. I'm just going to tell you.
I don't think he has an uncle like Kawhi who wants him to get in the big city. Giannis, like you said, also, who is his favorite player of all time? Kobe Bryant. What did Kobe Bryant do? Play for one team for 20 years, the Los Angeles Lakers. I think they're going to do that. They're just going to have to find some help. So the Heat are in the Eastern Conference Finals. Their matchup is going to determine Game 7 plays Friday night, Raptors-Celtics. Game 6 was last night, double overtime. Kyle Lowry plays all but 2 minutes of the 58-minute game. He had 33 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists. Jason Tatum had a good game. Kemba Walker, if he had a mediocre game, this don't even go to overtime. Celtics win. He had 5 points, 2 of 17 from the field. And then the Clippers, complete total domination. But there's a question I want to ask you. Michael Porter said, because a lot of the offense, Michael Porter Jr. is the rookie for the Denver Nuggets. Now, he came out in the bubble. Before the bubble, he wasn't even getting playing time because he was injured. But now he's making a name for himself. They're saying he's got a lot of talent. He says the offense is running too much through Jamal and Jokic. Give him the damn ball, basically, is what he's saying. Woo! And there's been a lot of backlash. Damian Lillard basically told him to shut up, that it should go through Jokic and Jamal Murray. Where are you? You're a second-year player. How do y'all feel about that? Should he be aggravated that he got 27 touches in the first half, 15 points, 7 touches in the second half, 0 points?
Well, I think these guys are very competitive, and when it gets down to these playoff games like that, but really just calling out your teammates, and when you're not getting the ball, I just take it this way. If you're not getting the ball, you got to go get the rebound, do what you can do when you got the ball in your hand, and stop.
Michael Porter is the kind of guy that obviously, of course, a couple of years ago, he came out. He had a lot of folks after him. And again, he had the back issues and very much, what's the young man name came out of LSU that played?
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons. These guys, pretty light-skinned guys, obviously pretty boys, but, a little soft. However, they can play. Now, Michael Porter, I don't know. He found his game somewhere because he is on like popcorn. It is off the chain to see him play, and he adds a little bit of energy when he comes in now.
And he's efficient, and he's 6'10". You can't teach 6'10" to be able to shoot the basketball. He's like Kevin Durant miniature out there. And tonight, we got DJ's Lakers versus the Houston Rockets. If the Lakers win this game and go up 3-1, the series is over. And I think everyone in America wants to see Clippers, Lakers, LeBron, AD, Paul George, Kawhi. Who doesn't want to see that?
Well, let me just say this. Obviously, the King is my guy. Again, LeBron James, 17 years, guys. This guy has to be on something different, man, because he is performing at a level and playing as if he was, 10 years ago. He's still getting up and down the court, playing both ends of the court. He's control the ball, the basketball game. An amazing feat, 17 years in.
Really, you're exactly right. LeBron James is the king, but really, I have just been so impressed with the NBA bubble and the basketball that's being played down there. I think really the Toronto Raptors are very underrated. I think really for them coming back, the Pascal Siakam piece, and them not having Kawhi Leonard this year and still competing the way they're competing, because really they'll play away from beating the Boston Celtics, and I think really that would be an upset in itself. But really, I think they're playing great basketball. But far as the Lakers and the Clippers are concerned, man, everybody wants to see that, man. But I still don't think the Lakers are clicking like they really want to click.
And you know how that's going to change? It's going to be Rajon Rondo. Last game, he hit 3 threes. And think about that. Rajon Rondo hitting threes. He had 21 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds. If they have another guard and playmaker with LeBron doing that, I don't think they're not going to win the championship this year. And go with DJ. LeBron James doing this at 35 years old, does it not reminisce of Tom Brady? Is he going to slow down? Unless he gets injured, I don't see him slowing down. And the man hadn't been injured in 17 years. So maybe Father Time gets him, but the way athletes take care of their body nowadays, I just don't see it happening.
Thrift, thank you for that NBA playoff update. Dale, we got a few minutes here before we have to take another break, but let's go ahead and talk about this SEC report. Obviously, we feature that, and we've been doing that for 16 years. Of course, The folks that know us and love us, they know that we talk about Alabama, Auburn, and Georgia primarily. Right. Although the other teams in the SEC, they got 14 total teams, and it is the best conference in the nation. Obviously, you are the number one fan of the SEC, and of course, I'm proud of that. However, we got a situation here. We know that the Auburn Tigers, they know who their quarterback is going to be, and they're going to be hosting the Kentucky Wildcats here on the 26th. Right. We also know that Mac Jones over in Tuscaloosa took over for Tua Tagovailoa last year with 3-1 record. Is really he's on point. He is ready and poised to take over. But there's confusion in Athens right now. We have no idea who's going to be the quarterback. We know that of course they just lost a guy that was going to be their savior, that was going to be our savior. And again, one of the things that's going on now is that where do you go? Where do you go? I mean, you have some guys on the list, but up until just a couple of days ago, you were counting on one guy in particular.
Well, we were talking about the Newman kid being that guy, but really, right now, I mean, it's like, hey, whoever gets hot, whoever gets comfortable with this offense, really, it's going to have to be that situation. Because right now, you don't know what, the J.D. Daniels guy, I mean, really, he hadn't even has he still been clear?
I'm sure he's getting close to being clear because they keep mentioning his name. If he wasn't going to be cleared, he wouldn't even be in the race right now. But my wild card, my dark horse is Dwayne Mathis. I just think so because I'm going to remind you because in case you forgot about who Dwayne Mathis was was headed to Ohio State.
Right.
Just prior to Justin Fields committing and going into the transfer portal, going into the transfer portal
right.
and deciding to go and play for Ohio State. So what did Dwayne Mathis do? He did an about face and came to Athens in place of that. Now, he had some issues. He had a cyst on his brain, which required surgery.
Right.
And he's had half a dozen NFL experts to look at that, medical experts to look at that and help them. And he's been cleared.
Right.
But, coming in, man, I mean, this kid was a 6'4", 6'5" sprinter. He ran like a 10-800 meters.
Right.
And, of course, we've seen him in pregame warm-ups when he on the field. He has a big arm. Beautiful throw. It's everything you would want in a quarterback. But I think that when he got injured, or at least when he had the surgery, people had started to kind of write him off. However, he has been cleared. Now that, of course, Dwayne, the kid has decided to opt out.
Right.
Jamie Newman has decided to opt out. I think that Dwayne Mathis, with all of his athleticism, with all of his talents, I think he's going to end up being that dual threat guy that obviously they wanted in Jamie Newman.
I sure hope you're right, DJ, because I don't feel it in my spirit that it is going to be that way because I think really for the head injuries, having the cyst, I think he's definitely rehabilitated from that. I think he's very talented. He is the kind of quarterback that is needed for Georgia. I mean, the RPO guy. I think they got to do that. Hopefully, he can pick up this offense and really I'm thinking they're going with this guy, JT Daniels. I just really think in my spirit they're going with him. And Georgia, basically, we don't have a quarterback again, and we're going to have to win ugly this year. Even with Fromm last year, we had a quarterback, but at the same time, just for us being able to get the ball and be productive on offense, I don't feel that for Georgia. The defense, I keep on hearing so much about the defense, and the defense is going to be lights out. But you got to score some points to win, DJ.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to go ahead and take another break. You are listening to WRCG 92.1, and you're watching CTV Beam. This is the Sports Visions Radio Show.
Welcome to Peaceful River Residential Services, where we care for your family like our family. Peaceful River is dedicated to creating an environment where we constantly exceed the expectations of our individuals. We strive to set the industry standard and be the provider of choice that meets the lifelong needs of your family. We are the caring provider whose respect for the individual's privacy and protecting their confidentiality is our top priority. We are the provider whose most valuable asset is you, our family. Call Peaceful Rivers today at 762-821-1476. Remember, at Peaceful River, we provide peace for your peace of mind.
And welcome back to the Sports Visions Radio Show. We are going Facebook Live right now. And, of course, we are on CTV Beam. It will air tonight. Tonight's show will air at 8 o'clock on CTV Beam, Channel 7. And, Dale, I tell you, man, it's an exciting opportunity to have a platform of this manner. Again, magazine, radio show, TV show. We're blessed.
I mean, we're really blessed, DJ, and I think really the platform was great, really. But one of the biggest things I'm excited about, man, is that all the sports is coming back all at one time, and really we saw this coming down the line, but really at the same time, I can't wait for this weekend. We got football, baseball, basketball. I mean, really all at one time.
Absolutely. Big ups to Coach Michael Woolridge, who is the head coach of the Hardaway Hawks. They playing tonight at 7 o'clock at Connect Stadium. Had the, of course, 7 o'clock kickoff out there at Connect Stadium. We're going to be running right over there after we get off the air here. Also, we have had an opportunity to talk to Rex Castillo, who was or is the sports director at WRBL, and he gave us, of course, this weekend's preview. And a big shout out to Jack Patterson, who comes on with us Monday, his cohort, who gives us obviously the weekend review of all the high school football scores.
I mean, they do a great job with the prep zone, DJ, and really there's more we can get for us, all these games, everything that they do, and behind the scenes look of how they actually, just really just carry these games. I mean, it's been a real what they call a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
I mean, from the standpoint of them, all the stuff that they do behind the scenes, a lot of people don't know that all these things go into Friday night football.
Speaking of high school football, but check this out. Tonight we got pro football, and two of the most phenomenal young quarterbacks today will be the headline tonight. And again, Dale, it's going to be an opportunity for us to really see the future of the NFL, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Desean Watson, who just got paid, obviously 4 years, $160 million, and Pat Mahomes, who got paid maybe a little about 5-6 weeks ago.
That's right.
With half a billion dollar deal. 10-year deal. But and again, it's going to be great that the season opens up tonight with these two guys. But some side notes, of course. Von Miller, who was, of course, the outstanding All-Pro defensive end with the the Denver Broncos. He's got a little bumper. He's got a little knee injury. He's going to be out, man. I hate it for him because obviously in that particular division, that particular conference, you got to have your wheels, and he's one of the weapons for the Broncos defense, and he's not going to be there. They're trying to. Everybody was speculating that maybe Clay Matthews would be the guy that the odds-on favorite, but Clay Matthews and the Denver Broncos haven't been able to see eye to eye with as far as contract talks. Davian Clowney, our good friend, former SEC standout out of South Carolina, because he hadn't quite lived up to his name that, of course, he came out of high school as the number one defensive player, and of course, being the top all-SEC defensive player, all-American out of South Carolina. However, in the NFL, he hadn't quite got there, but the talent is there.
Oh, it's definitely there.
Guess what he's done? He's decided to sign with Tennessee. He's familiar with his old coach, Mike Vrabel, and Vrabel, obviously a former player. And again, you talk about a player's coach. He feels comfortable there. He took less money, and he's not going to, but he has the opportunity to compete and go to the playoffs and possibly the Super Bowl.
Well, really, wherever he goes, he's going to make that defense real well. Because really, I mean, Davian Clowney is a beast, and I think really everything that he does, I think he wanted a lot of money, DJ, but like you said, he took a little less, but at the same time, he's with his old coach. He's going to make the Tennessee Titans even better. And I think really, man, for us, what we're going to find out this weekend is that who's going to be the contending teams and who's really going to be able to play the caliber of football that needs to be played. Because I'm going to tell you something, DJ. When you start the season off with the Houston Texans and you start talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, reigning world champions, that's the future. That's the future of football. And these quarterbacks, these are the kind of quarterbacks that you need. You need an RPO quarterback. That's the run-pass option quarterbacks. And really, if you don't have one, you better get one.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dan, it's just an action-packed lineup altogether, but I got to get my Falcons in before you forget them because I know you don't give a damn about them. However, my guys, we always say if you keep Matt Ryan clean, keep him upright, keep the noise off of him, he has an opportunity to get the ball to some of the most phenomenal, the most talented receivers and running backs in the National Football League. Thank God Todd Gurley has a little left in the tank, and he's going to come in. And, of course, with that wide-open offense spread all out with Julio over here and several of the guys, I mean, it's going to be incredible to see what this offense is capable of with, again, adding Todd Gurley with something left in the tank, which I do believe. And, of course, he's coming home. He has a reason to feel good and have, get a little upcharge, get a little bit turbo.
Well, really, it's going to be very, interesting how these first games go. And I think really – nobody not seeing anybody, not being able to see the scrimmages, no preseason games. You just, bam, you're going to start playing for real on Sunday. And I think really the Todd Gurley piece, if he can touch the ball 15 to 20 times, DJ, he's going to do great things. But really, I am looking forward to seeing the Atlanta Falcons offense, believe it or not, when you got all number 1 picks that start right there on your line of scrimmage, man, I mean, that piece right there, all first rounders in your top 11, you ought to be pretty good somewhere, but really it's going to take their defense. And I think really they're going to have to do a good job on defense. I think they can score points against anybody, but they're going to have to stop some people this year.
Absolutely. The quarterbacks on their defense is back. Of course, Canute Neal as well as Deon Jones. Those 2 guys up the middle. Losing them last year, Dale, that was just, I mean, it's like I said, if you're playing baseball, it's the equivalent of losing your shortstop and your center fielder as well as your second baseman. Everything right up the gut. The most important athletes on a baseball team. Well, these 2 guys, one, of course, the captain in the secondary, and again, the linebacker who is the captain of the team, and of course, Deon Jones. But he's back healthy, and you know what? He is probably as fast as any linebacker we have in the league right now.
Right now, he's a baller. I mean, really, he's been, ever since he came out of LSU, he's been that top of the line linebacker. I mean, he can go from sideline to sideline, and he really anchors the Atlanta Falcons defense. But DJ, is another storyline that we definitely can't miss out on. The Cam Newton piece in New England.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think really that Cam Newton piece, I think Cam Newton is very excited. I think he was humbled by the situation that he had to go through to even get to New England. I think the New England Patriots, I'm going to pick them right now is to win the Super Bowl. And I think, we real early. We just thankful that we even have a football game. But I think really for us, Tampa Bay is going to be good also. But whoever comes out of that NFC South probably is going to go to the Super Bowl also. So it's going to be an interesting season, but we got storyline stuff all over the place, man.
Want to go back with Cam. Congratulations. Big ups to Cam Newton. Obviously, you guys get caught up into how he looks, his appearance. And again, Cam has never been a guy that obviously got in trouble or anything off the field. He just, he looks a little different and he's a little artsy. However, you got to remember, this guy has won at every level. Obviously, he had the little hiccup at Florida, got in a little trouble, but he went up to Taft at the junior college, won a national championship. Of course, went over to Auburn, won a national championship, won the Heisman Trophy, was the number 1 pick in the National Football League just a few years ago, the MVP, took his team to the Super Bowl. Again, it was just a matter of, is the shoulder healthy? Is the foot okay? I think that he's got that all plugged in. Of course, being elected the team captain and the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots by Bill Belichick and his team, that tells you a lot there.
That tells you a whole lot, DJ. But again, this is a top-of-the-line guy, really just needing an opportunity. And, I mean, for people that didn't sign this guy, I mean, really, you throw him in that the Colin Kaepernick piece. I mean, why wouldn't you want to sign Cam Newton? And I think really, I think Bill Belichick, and his ownership and his people look here, man. Forget all that craziness, man. We need this quarterback. This guy can help us win. And I think that's when you hear the saying, the rich continue to get richer, that's what happens with the New England Patriots and the good teams and the good organization. Forget about all that dumb stuff, man. We need this guy. This guy can help us win.
And the storylines continue because obviously 2 of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history, we're going to go head-to-head. Of course, Tom Brady, he has his talents down with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they're going to go up against Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. They're going to go head-to-head this Sunday, man, and I tell you what, that's one that I will purchase a ticket to see. But I'm going to be in my own little press box where I can go and grab a beverage, where I can go and grab whatever munchies that I need, and whatever I don't have even a tab. I can just go back and forth and watch the game.
I mean, really, man, we're going to get spoiled with this coronavirus treatment that we're getting, being at home, staying safe, watching TV, getting all the replays. And one good thing about if you don't go to the games, DJ, is at least when the game's over with, you're right where you need to be.
Absolutely. Before we get off of this live, we got just a couple of minutes, Dale. I got to make reference to the Atlanta Braves. 29 runs they scored the other day, man, after being shut out. I mean, really, the pitching is not there, but you know what? The offense is there.
The offense is there, man. If this was a Little League game, DJ, they would have called the game. I mean, really, 29 runs. I hope the Falcons can score 29 points.
Oh, come on. They're going to score a lot more than that.
And I think, but really, just for as the Braves hitting, the Braves got some problems, but hitting is not one. They got to get some pitching, man. I mean, really, anybody out there that can pitch, call somebody in Atlanta and say, hey, let me get a tryout, because really, the Braves need some pitchers. bad.
Brian Snicker, great job. You're doing a great job as a skipper, man. Obviously, it's never too late. Here's this guy. I mean, he's a little older than a tooth, man, and he's having an opportunity just a couple of years here as the manager, but getting an opportunity. He's been with the Braves for over 40 years, man, in their system, but he's getting the best out of those young guys, and I think that he has a lot to do with those young players being able to produce so early.
He does. He has a lot to do with it because really, again, for as prospects are concerned, the Atlanta Braves and their farm system, they keep top prospects. And I think really, for as the hitting is concerned, the Braves got hitters everywhere. The designated hitter piece, that's been a blessing for the Atlanta Braves, DJ, because really they got extra batters, they got extra hitters. They just don't have any pitchers right now. But if I can score 10+ runs a game, DJ, I don't need a pitcher.
Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to have SEC Senior Director of Multimedia Sales, Scott Williams, our former teammate, and a whole lot more. You are listening to WRCG 92.1, and you're watching CTV Beam, also Facebook Live. This is the Sports Visions Radio Show.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like. I wish I could fix my lips to express how amazing that love truly is. And even though those words may flow beautifully through a melodic tune, there have been far too many unopened conversations to the address of the elephant that is getting comfortable in our living room when it comes to the topic of being black. A simple color that you see in a box of Crayola crayons, the asphalt where we plant our feet, from the cup of coffee that we wish to drink, or a simple arrow planted on a traffic sign that can lead us to our next destination. Yet every day I find it hard people appreciate this color on materialistic objects rather than the color attached to the pigmentation of human faces. Answer me this. When it comes to the American dream, is it based upon breaking metaphorical chains, securing a financial augmentation, a damsel in distress rescued by a hero answering her cry for hope? No. Because this country has given us more nightmares than dreams, especially wondering if our children will ever return home. As a black boy in this country, statistics have shown that our most anticipated moment is receiving a diploma at our high school graduation. But hearing our names across that stage doesn't compare to the words, "Son, it's time you and I have a conversation." To explain the nature of you asking, why did the kids look at me weird on the playground in the 3rd grade? Or why did Jeff and Amy say that they could no longer play with me? In a society built for your anxiety. A crippling nation we live in, and the frustration of being the ones playing the music's sad violins. Now, you're young. I know, and I once found myself in your shoes, 16 and free, where my soul had a right to choose what I wanted to achieve. "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Miss Parker asked. And as she was finishing up to the back of the class, I found myself throwing my right hand up to where it was evident. "The president. I want to be the president." As the class turned slow to me, I realized that no one wanted to address the elephant. That black boys can never be respected in that way. And while it sits back in 83, even today your generation isn't much more free than when I was your age. So son, before I let you have these keys, I must say something. Be cautious. Because even though you are a king, this world will look down on you as if they were better, making you feel like nothing. It'll make you want to scream, accusing you of stealing in the dressing room, asking the passive-aggressive, "May I help you look for anything? May I help you look for something?" And the stare you'll get from the cashier in the gas station when you're just looking for your favorite drink. Son, when you're on that road, think twice about speeding, not using your blinker, or making too long of eye contact with the stranger next to you at the red light. Because while it is your right to be on the road just as much as anyone else, the kids who are white don't have to fear for their lives by men who sit as killers in the skies. If you're pulled over, don't ever look at them directly in the eyes. Keep both hands on the wheel. And though you may feel disrespected, always say respectful with a yes, sir. Because it's better for you to live and see tomorrow than to be another hashtag that'll occur. So as you lay your head on your pillow, remember this. Though this may be land of the free, the voices that came before you had a price to pay. And though black boy joy may cease, the fear of a black man shall never fade away. So in this country of peaceful protests, fallen angels, and all of the filmed violence, son, may you always hold your peace, but never hold your silence.
Big ups to Coach Michael Woolrich with the Hardaway Hawks. They play tonight. They got America's Sumter in town at Connect Stadium. Dale, we also like to thank WRBL Sports Director Rex Castillo. Of course, he came on to give us the preview for the weekend high school scores, and we always look forward to that.
We always look forward to that, DJ, between Rex and Jack. I mean, really, we got a great combination, and really, we always talk about networking and relationships. These are the best two guys that we know in this area.
And without further ado, we told you we're going to go get one of our heavy hitters, and he's with us right now. Of course, welcome to the show. Of course, he is not only a former teammate at the University of Georgia, he's my frat brother, but he's also the senior director of multimedia sales with the SEC Network, Scott Williams. Welcome to the Sports Vision Radio Show, sir.
DJ and Dale,
hey, what's
my
going
favorite
on,
two hometown sports guys. How you guys doing, man?
We're good, man. We're good. We finally, hey, Scotty, we're back up and running. I think the last time we had a chance to chat with you, man, everything was shut down, and we didn't have a whole lot to talk about. It was gloom and doom, but now, man, the sky is brighter. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Man, this is absolutely phenomenal. Do you know what kind of sports day today or tonight is going to be? Think about it. The Braves started about 6:05. We've got NBA playoffs. The Lakers playing tonight. We've got ACC football playing tonight. We've got Kansas City Chiefs playing tonight. It's like I've got a big screen and two other 55-inch screens on. I need another screen, man. 3 is not enough.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Scott, I tell you, well, thank you for taking time out again, but we had to get you back here with the going. You know, again, we had you when it was gloom and doom. However, you still was able to keep us afloat, and you know, even though we knew that a lot of revenue had been lost, and obviously, not that it can be made up, but obviously, the blood can be, or at least you can stop the bleeding right about now.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I tell you what, you know, and I am reaping some of the benefits of the Big Ten and the Pac-12 not playing, because the first thing I did was tell our team, hey, listen, go after all of those advertisers that were on those networks and switch pitch them.
Wow.
Tell them to come on over. Tell them to come on over.
Yeah.
We'll welcome them onto our network. And so we've had some success doing that, but man, it is really exciting that, this time of the year where we're about to start some real football here, college and pro, and I'm just happy, man. It's a great time, and it's good to be part of this Disney family.
COVID-19, Scotty, obviously made us all have a lot of adjustments, and I know you, of course, you mentioned your team. However, you guys haven't been in the office, and how are you guys adjusting? Are you back in the office? Are you still working from home?
Man, we're still working from home. Part of what we're doing, and Disney is pretty conservative when it comes to, risk. So they don't want to put anyone at risk. And right now we are still working from home. And we foresee doing that for, I don't know, man, probably months to come. We've got to get through this next flu season. And they think that, there might be another surge during this fall season here. So I would imagine we're going to continue to work from home until we get into the first part of the year, man. So we're batting down the hatches. You remember old Coach Dooley used to say that, batting down the hatches,
yep.
Man. So we're bunkering in over here, and we're working from home. But the key thing is that we're still able to get our business done the way we need to.
That's a good
just
thing.
in a different way.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And talk to me about this, guy. The SEC Nation and the pregame shows and the postgame shows that you all, the SEC Networks, does a great job with, and you got great sponsors for. Talk to us about how that's going to be changed in any perspective at all.
Right, yeah. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to go from the studios, and we're going to have, we're still going to have Laura Rutledge, who you guys can see has gotten a bump up to NFL Live, but she still is going to be on the desk for SEC Nation, but she's going to be leading it from the studios. And we'll have maybe a couple other folks there with her, and we might have Feinbaum doing some hits from Charlotte. And we've got Roman Harper, who is one of our new guys that's coming in. Tim Tebow is still going to be on, and he may be in Florida part of the time. But we will be doing it somewhat virtually, but from the studios. And until we get the okay from our senior management teams, we're going to do it that way. Of course, we hope that at some point, maybe before the SEC championship game, we get to take it out on the road and test drive it and get it ready for the SEC championship game. But we're just kind of playing it slow right now. We'll play it week by week, but we're going to start out in the studios and then see if maybe at the end of the season or towards the SEC championship times, maybe unveil it and move it out to on-site.
Scotty, as a former Bulldog, I want to shift the business over to some Bulldog action here. We're going to take a little slight pause of the calls for the SEC Network and all the happenings. Jamie Newman, who was obviously our savior, the graduate transfer quarterback coming in from Wake Forest, dual threat guy, 6'4", 230 pounds, 4'6" guy. All of a sudden, since January, we've been hearing he's going to be the savior. He was going to be the guy that's going to take us to the promised land. Several days ago, he decided that he was going to opt out, and boom, he's gone. What's your thoughts?
Man, boy, I was so looking forward to seeing him play, man. I'm actually scheduled to be down in Athens this weekend to watch the scrimmage. And, man, I was hopeful to be able to see him play. But you know what, man? That's just how this 2020 is, man. It's been unpredictable. And a lot of different stories, and I don't want to feed into any of them because I don't really know. But I think what was done and how it was handled by the University of Georgia and their staff, it was handled with class, because a lot of people were mad and upset, and the coaching staff could have been the same way, but they didn't express that in the media or to the general public. And I think one of the things that he tries to teach down there in terms of Kirby Smart is that bring in as many talented folk as possible. We're going to play with who we have and what we have. And I think that's what he really has to rely on in this situation, because according to a lot of people that know a lot of things about football, Jamie Newman was supposed to be a very, very talented player. And if you think about how his stock improved even before he ever took a snap with Georgia, the transfer over to Georgia and the statement of working with Lumpkin in a pro-style situation, it lofted him from maybe, a top 10 quarterback pick to now they're considering him maybe in the top 4 or 5. So, and that was without him even playing a snap. But one of the great things that he was able to do was to get a lot of film, a lot of tape, a lot of 7-on-7 stuff, and what he's been doing in practice against one of the top defenses in the country. The defensive back situation down there in Georgia, they are freaking loaded. And so going against those guys, perhaps it kind of triggered something, and I don't know if somebody got in his ear or what, but we wish him well, man, and we've got to move on to either Daniels or DeJuan Mathis and see if we can ride them to a national championship.
Absolutely. Scotty, I got to say this because obviously, the residuals of have still, the wounds have not healed from Justin Fields leaving and departing to Ohio State a couple of years ago. And again, with the situation, how it was handled. And even prior to that, the young man, obviously from the West Coast who Jake Fromm beat out, his name escapes me right now, Eason is his name. But again, on the national spectrum with regards to quarterback, and again, even like I said, the Justin Fields deals, the wounds haven't quite healed even from that. Now another, top quarterback, African-American quarterback, to me, in my mind, it doesn't resonate with regards to future prospects with that similar talent taken under consideration or really believing in that they have an opportunity to play at Georgia. And I know that this is a slippery slope. However, I know it has to be talked about because it's out there.
You're absolutely right, and I'll flat out say, in my opinion, the wrong decision was made with Justin Fields. He clearly was the best and the better player, and to me, it appeared like there was competition at every position, fairly, with the exception of that one. I don't know why. That's just me, though, and so, but I don't know what happened internally. But I know the perception of what it looks like in the marketplace could be somewhat damaging. But one thing that always happens, though, is when those guys go down there and they talk to players, they find out the real deal. Those recruits that are on the path and they're visiting these major schools and they're being recruited heavily, when the coaches aren't there and they get to spend time with players that are actually on the team, that are in the locker room, that know exactly what happened, I think that's when the true story gets told. So we will be able to see as time moves on whether or not what we think and what we perceive to be true is true. Because if so, he may not get many more down there. If it is not true, then perhaps, he will get one that step up and step in and perform well for him down there. But, yeah, that is something that's being talked about, has to be talked about. Yes. And I think ultimately it will unfold and really show itself in terms of what really happened.
Yeah. I mean, really, that's going to come out. But let me ask you this question, Scotty. From the time that we talked in March during this pandemic, it was gloom and doom. But now, even just working through everything, the SEC, Greg Sankey just sticking by his guns, and the SEC is gonna play, and we're gonna do everything that we need to do. All these things, all these adjustments, I know some good things have come out of all this stuff too. Talk to us about some of the good stuff, Scotty, that has really come out. Just like the SEC playing an all SEC conference. We've been asking for that for a couple of years. Talk to us about some of the good things that have come out of this pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think one of the things that stands out to me, first and foremost, is the incredible leadership that Commissioner Sankey has displayed. If you think about how the Big Ten went about their situation, and a lot of people know that the presidents really made that decision, but the messenger was Kevin Warren, and he's been crucified for that. I think one of the things that Greg Sankey has done is that he's had a plan. He's had the different committees to take a look at things, and he's had a plan, and he's communicated constantly with not only the ADs and coaches, but the presidents of the universities, and let them know exactly what he plans to do, the timelines, and if things changes, then they're nimble enough to be able to make those changes. But I think as a result, the good thing is that there's better content, there's better competition. You go from 8 conference games to possibly 9, and then all of a sudden we have 10, and so now we have 10 conference games. That is just so much more good football that we can see, look at, and watch, and consume as consumers of great football. And so, that is just an incredible benefit. Now, will they continue to play 10 moving forward? We don't know. But I think also it gave them a chance to look at how they need to assess health with players. They've got a lot of technology down there now, and people are using a lot of different technologies to monitor temperatures and pace and speed and all kinds of other things. And so more teams are using that kind of technology and equipment, as well as monitoring the players closer than ever before. So, there were times when players could have problems health-wise, underlying problems health-wise that could go undiagnosed. Hey, that's not happening now. And so in terms of the benefit to the players, their health has been and viewed at another level, and so they're being cared for in a different way and being tested and making sure that there are no underlying health issues. So, there's some things on the players' side, and there's some things on the coaching side, and there's some things in terms of the conference games. I think that are pluses and benefits to what this pandemic has brought upon us, and I think we're making the best of it.
He's with the SEC Network. He's our friend, a former teammate. Of course, his name is Scott Williams. And Scott, I know that obviously you are very versed on a lot of different subjects, not just particularly the finances of the SEC and of the game of sports. However, I want to talk to you a little bit about the situation. You mentioned Kevin Warren, who's catching a lot of heat out of the Big Ten. And, the SEC obviously is ready to go this weekend. We're hearing talks about the Big Ten, possibly even the Pac-12, starting a season somewhere around Thanksgiving and still being one in consideration for the national championship. What are your thoughts with regards to them starting late and even being considered to be a part of the national championship playoffs?
Well, I think what they're realizing is that they pulled the plug a little bit too early. It was a little bit premature. I think one of the great things that Commissioner Sankey did was say, hey, listen, there's new technologies, there's new testing. Literally the next couple of days after the Big Ten said that they were pulling the plug, there was this saliva test that was like inexpensive, perhaps $5, that, they could test guys now every single day that they wanted to, and it made it cost efficient to be able to do that. And so them not waiting put them in a pretty precarious situation, especially with the players, the parents, even the administrators on their staff, the coaches, the ADs, they all were like, wow, why so early? But they're feeling the pressure now because it is not only the health and consideration of the players, it's a lot of money that's at stake. And so now they're starting to realize the impact of that, and then feeling the backlash of the players not playing and the parents, and then the petition that Justin Fields started and the number of signatures that he's gotten people to sign off on and say that they support them. And so, rightfully so, there's new consideration now to see if they can make this thing happen. I wish I knew what was going to happen, but I tell you what, the three Power 5 conferences that are playing are saying, hey, look, they can do whatever they want to do now. We are going to play this season. We are going to go to the CFP, and if they are part of it, so be it. And if they're not, we will celebrate our championship as if they were there. So I think as the weeks unfold here, they are starting to run out of time in terms of trying to schedule in enough games so that they then could complete their season in the proper time and then be able to be involved or participate in the CFP, because the CFP has already stated that we are not changing our dates right now. We have them set, and that is how we're going to do it. And so they have to back schedule from that to make sure that they can complete their season towards the end of December, so that if it's possible to complete it by then, that they could perhaps be, considered for the CFP. But it's yet to be seen, man. But I know a lot of people want them to play.
I want to give the NBA their props, Scotty, because you made mention to the new saliva test that is very inexpensive, that has changed the game somewhat as far as testing, as far as the COVID-19 is concerned. They made the contribution of $500,000 to, I believe it was Harvard or Yale, one or the other, to do the study, and that's how we came about. So big shout outs to the NBA. $500,000, which obviously is just a drop in the bucket when you talk about all the testing. Again, and I've heard some of the people that have taken, some of my friends who obviously have contracted or were just being tested, they paid as much as $100 or more to get the testing done. And you talk about having it down to $5, $10, that's very affordable. And again, that was the big thing with, again, a lot of the smaller schools that opted out because they knew that they couldn't take on those expenses of the testing. And even some of the major league sports, that was a consideration.
Oh man, you really hit it on the head, DJ, because that is the truth, man. You did think about some of these what they call the other five, the group of five.
Yes.
You know, if you got the Power Five and the group of five, a lot of them finance and fuel their athletic departments via games that they play with the Power Five, and oftentimes you see they make anywhere from $800,000 to $1.5 million for a game. And you think about them having to spend millions of dollars in testing. They didn't have it. They didn't have it. And so when the Pac-12 and the Big Ten canceled their games, which meant they canceled a lot of those big money games for the group of five, it impacted them dramatically because they were like, okay, well, shucks, if we don't get these games and they are just going, and if they do play, they just play a conference game, we're shut out and we can't afford to test at that rate. But all of a sudden now, you know, we have what the NBA has done. Man, it has been absolutely phenomenal. And the testing that the NFL has done is, you know, if you look at the numbers and the number of positives that they've had it's been almost unbelievable. But, you know, those guys get paid to do what they do, and they have a lot at stake in terms of the finances and the money that they earn and make by making sure they do what they need to do so that they can play the game. It's not the same with college students, but man, I tell you what, boy, the new testing, like you mentioned, that the NBA invested in and helped to provide money to research, has been a game breaker, man, and it really has allowed for additional testing and increased testing that they can now narrow this thing down and really confine it into different groups. So it's been a great thing.
Scotty, we appreciate you. You've been so generous with your time, and we appreciate your wisdom and knowledge, of course, updating and talking to the Sports Visions Nation, man. We always appreciate you.
Hey, man, real quick, man, everybody out there, if you guys aren't on board with, if you have small businesses and you're not on board with these hometown sports guys, man, you better get on board because they are doing it right, and they're doing it right in the community, and it is always good to be connected with folks that are doing great things in the community, man. So small businesses, get on board.
Thank you, Scotty. We appreciate you.
All right, guys.
All
appreciate
right.
You.
Yes, sir. That's Scott Williams. And I tell you what, he tells it like it is.
Tell it like it is, DJ, and really, you know, a guy that's behind the scene and continue to do a great job for the SEC Network.
All right, we'll take our final break of the day. You're listening to WRCG 92.1, and you're watching CTV Beam. This is the Sports Visions Radio Show.